Hey, welcome back into another look at the best of the best, the top 100 jersey numbers in St. Louis sports history. We're going to be taking you through it all, 0 through 99 here on Sports Hub STL over the next several weeks. Make sure that you follow us on all social media platforms, subscribe to the newsletter, subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can see all of these videos and all of the posts as we go along. I am Joe Roderick alongside the sports historians here of St. Louis. We talk best of best with numbers. I have the best of the best in St. Louis media here with me. It's Bernie Miklasz and Randy Karraker with you, taking you through the numbers. And guys, the last time we did this, it was number 2, and it was a fierce debate on number 2. We've had a few easy ones since then. Number 4, number 5, number 6. There have been some decent baseball players in St. Louis to wear those numbers over the years. But now we get to number 7. And this kind of expands, guys. We kind of go a few different directions here with number 7. And there's a lot to look at and a lot to break down as far as who is the most deserving number 7 in St. Louis sports history.
It's kind of a free-for-all, Randy, because there's a lot of really good names there. I was looking at the names, and I want to defer to you, but I just wanted to set you up. I was looking at this, and I'm like, gosh, they're all really good. I don't know that any one guy is like head and shoulders above the others. It's really tough to try to come up with the answer here, at least with me. Now, you can tell me I'm wrong and say, no, it was easy for me, Randy Karraker. But no, I looked at it and went, wow, good luck to everyone trying to pick the right guy here.
Well, Bernie, I want to start with this because I think kind of lost in history because of the time that he played in the 30s up until 1940 is Joe Medwick, who, by the way, is buried here in St. Louis. Joe Medwick, in his 11 years with the Cardinals, had an OPS of 917. And granted, it was a different era, but a career 335 batting average for the Cardinals, 372 on base, 545 slug, hit 152 home runs, which was a lot at that time, 923 runs batted in. Joe Medwick was a really, really, really great hitter, and I think he's kind of overlooked in Cardinal history.
He is. Big part of the 1934 Gas House Gang World Series champions. I think he wasn't part of the 31 team. But as a Cardinal, he made 7 All-Star teams. That's back when it really meant something to be named to an All-Star team. He was also the National League's MVP in 1937. And I think he got MVP votes in like 3 or maybe even 4 other seasons. I mean, he was a truly spectacular elite player and one of the most feared hitters in the game. And you also got to love the nickname Ducky, right? So he gets beautiful bonus points for that. But see, this is a good example of kind of like where I think that so much time has gone by that it's easy to forget about him, and it's easy for younger voters. I would not fault any younger voter for not even know who Joe Ducky Medwick is, which is why I hope, some people, if they really, feel deeply about this, they should do at least just go to Baseball Reference or whatever, and you can get a good sketch of these players. So anyway, but there's some other really good candidates as well, and Red Berenson, Matt Holliday, who also wore number 15, Garry Unger, Keith Tkachuk. So maybe I was wrong about that. Maybe Medwick is head and shoulders above, but I have so much respect for the other people on the list that I didn't want to shortchange them in expressing respect for them.
Oh no, he's all right. Where were we?
No, we were talking about
the other guy name that you brought up at the end there. Another one, Jersey retired, and a guy that again didn't win any championships here in St. Louis, but is absolutely a name that belongs in the mix here.
And Bernie, it's tough for me with the Blues, and I can say that I'm objective and that there's no emotion that goes in, but for me, there's really, as great as Keith Tkachuk was, as great as Red Berenson was wearing number 7, as great as Joey Mullen was, for me, Garry Unger was the Blues in the 70s. He was really the only star they had. And for that stretch where they went to the playoffs for 25 consecutive years, and there were some where they missed with him on the roster too. But he was, until Sutter and Verdugo got here, he was really the only forward the Blues had. He was the guy.
Can I add to your point in kind of a little bit of an abstract way? when I was a kid growing up out in the suburbs between Baltimore and DC, Washington got an NHL team in 1974. I was 15 years old, and I got season tickets. Me and two other guys, season tickets. They were like high school age season tickets. I think they were like $4 a game, and we were so excited when the Blues were on the schedule and came to town because, first of all, they have the greatest emblem in professional sports. But the other thing is Garry Unger. We were like, oh, we got to go see Garry Unger. I mean, these are high school kids growing up outside of Baltimore. Oh, we got to go see Garry Unger. So you're absolutely right. This is coming from a kid that was 1,200 miles away or whatever. Mm-hmm. Got to go see Garry Unger. He's coming to our building. So you're absolutely right about that.
Yeah, so I would certainly have him in the mix. Another guy who's by our fan base really underrated, and it's because he was the guy who followed the guy, Matt Holliday. I mean, when you are a middle of the order hitter for as many postseason teams as Matt Holliday was, you're good. And he played on really good offenses. Historically, his numbers are outstanding. I think he's underrated because he was here when Pujols left, and he wasn't Albert Pujols, but man, he had a good Cardinal career.
He really did. I mean, gosh almighty, as a Cardinal, he hit 300. He had a great on-base percentage, slugging percentage of almost 500, and he moved into a tough ballpark for that. I mean, he was an all-star. Let me see. I'm looking at it right now. As a Cardinal, he was an all-star 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. He got MVP votes in 4 different seasons. And I got to confess to something here, because you mentioned it about him being underrated. It used to drive me bananas when I was working at whatever radio station or as the Post-Dispatch columnist, and I would get notes, or people would, later on send text messages, and they were talking about how, well, he's just a bunch of stats. Like this guy's never got a big hit in his life. And I would just, that perception stuck with Matt Holliday for reasons that absolutely defy logic or frankly, even sanity, because I would actually take the time to answer these people, say, well, here, these are his numbers as a Cardinal, batting with runners in scoring position. And the numbers were great. But there was a large percentage of the fan base that looked at him as some guy that choked under pressure or something. Mm-hmm. It was absolutely bizarre, and it still is. And I think later on, like in his final couple years as a Cardinal, maybe there was a greater appreciation. I'm not sure. I think you nailed it. I think the conspiracy-minded people thought that, well, they only traded for Holliday because they're not going to offer Pujols the money to stay. So this is like the backup. So they held that against Holliday. Even if that was true, and there was some truth to that, they wanted to have a fallback. Don't get me wrong. They should have had a fallback. And the Cardinals did offer Albert Pujols a lot of money, but they probably could have handled it better. Don't get me wrong. But don't hold that against the player. He wanted to be a Cardinal. He signed here to be a Cardinal after he came here to trade. Don't get mad at him. Get mad at the people you thought were responsible for not bringing Albert Pujols back.
And you saw the emotion too when he knew that his time in St. Louis had come to an end and homered in his last at bat here. And moral of the story too, if you wear number 7 in St. Louis, you're going to have kids that are also amazing athletes.
How about that? Yeah. That's right. Yeah. How about that?
So this is where we hand things off to you. Now the debate is all yours. Make
Red
sure
Berenson. Don't forget
and reply.
Don't forget Red Berenson.
Yep, that's another one on the list too. Red Berenson.
Yeah, so. He was terrific. I actually remember him as number 9 because when the Blues traded Berenson, he was number 7. Traded him to Detroit for Unger. Unger gets 7. So when Berenson came back, he was number 9. But a great group, and we talked in going back to the number 2 segment. We talked about the societal influence of Red Schoendienst. Just a note about Matt Holliday and the amount of money that he's raised for Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. He's still a huge part of what they do there and what our community is. And if that is part of what sways you as we do these numbers debates, the story about how he took his, after a game, 11:30 at night, takes his ball from his 400th home run over to Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital and gives it to a kid. That's so typical of what Matt Holliday did and does, and that holds weight with me.
It does. I agree. Thank you for
Let
bringing
us
that
know
up.
your thoughts in the comments, the replies, all of our social media accounts. Let us know who is the best number 7. And you kind of teased it. You mentioned Red Berenson, number 9. I have a feeling we're going to have another strong debate at number 9 later on this week. So stick around here and find out who the best numbers in St. Louis sports history are here on Sports Hub STL.